Hello and welcome to another installment of Comparative Reasoning. I'm your host, Cedric Kennedy, and I want to talk about the Karen of Victoria's Secret. I'm not going to talk about it in the ways that you think. Here's the thing. Has anyone been curious to what initially started the girl filming? Recording. What happened that caused her to start recording in the first place? I will be honest with you. For me, somebody starts. This happened to me ages ago. Before the phones had the ability to record, all it was just taking pictures. My cousin wanted to take a picture of me at a pretty much inopportune time. Wasn't very appropriate, and I didn't feel comfortable at all. I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was just standing there shirtless, and I did not want anyone taking a picture of me. And I was very uncomfortable. And I will say this, what ran through my mind when I was telling him, no, don't take a picture of me. I don't need this. Stop it. I thought, you know what? You take that picture and I should take your phone, because I don't need that up there. And I got to make sure that it's gone. You can get the phone back. It's a slippery slope, that type of situation, that type of thing. Because, so if you record somebody against their will, I understand public domain and I understand the freedom of quote unquote press. I get that. At the same time, there are people, if you're a public official, if you are a public servant, if you are paid by any sort of means by the working class, the taxpayers, by any means, then they can film you at all given points. So my mind isn't made up one way or the other about this portion. Now, the next one, when the woman, the Karen, started freaking out. Okay. Here's the thing. She's freaking out and chasing the woman, telling the woman to get away from her. I want everyone to understand, see, that's a cognitive dissonance situation. Yes. Get away from me as I chase you. You see what I'm saying? You can't do that. That is unreasonable. And her actions and her behavior was unreasonable. And she is flipping out. I want all of you to understand, these people exist. These are the people that need mental help. Mental, psychological, emotional health care should be rendered heavily to these people. And these are the people that drive, raise kids, vote. I don't think they should have the ability to do any of that when they are this incapable of handling basic social situations. That's what I'm thinking. You shouldn't be able to do any of that unless you are supervised, unless you are on medications that can balance you, not subdue you, but balance you, cause you to have the ability to handle social situations. Not intense pressures, just situations. Something is happening, it hasn't kicked off, it's not major, and you're able to work your way through it a little bit. Or when you realize you can't work your way through it, walk away. Just walk away. Now, the police come into play. They see this woman. She is on the floor losing her mind. And she did, on the video that I saw, she lunged at the woman. The woman's video, not the cop cam and all this. No, the woman's long extended video. That woman, Well, I don't know if it was a lunge or she just fell. Sometimes it's hard to tell. It really is, because people put their hands forward, so it looked like it might be a lunge, but they failed and they just fell. It could be that. You know, you got to give nuance. You know, now this is when the cops come in and fail, or did they succeed? You see, the cops, they come in and find nothing wrong with the Karen, but the victim, well, they got an issue with her. They say that she should leave, and she said, See, she wanted to leave, and she said on video, remind me never to come here again. That is a line that a business never wants to hear. But then again, this is Victoria's Secret. When they first came out ages ago, they were astonishingly expensive because they didn't want any minorities purchasing their stuff. It was supposed to be for the upper crust white people. That's what it was for. It was more than obvious. All they had to do was stick a sign up there, and others would be like, well, yeah, we get it. But when they realized not too many of them is going to shop there, and if they do, it's not going to turn a profit like that. You know, it's not. You make it for the wealthy, well, the rich and the wealthy, and they spend more time buying stuff overseas. They import things. So they had to lower their prices so that the middle class and up could afford it. Then they slightly lowered them once more so that anyone in the middle class could get it. But those people that's making on average $21,000 and less a year gross, might I add, they can't afford it. They don't have time to afford it. And that's what they got. So this store initially isn't made for the one recording. It's made for the one freaking out. The cops get there. They don't necessarily look like the one recording. So they ask that she should leave. They recommend she should leave, and she says no. Might I add, the cops are ignoring the public disturbance that the Karen has created. They are ignoring that this woman has obviously got mental afflictions, and they are not trying to handle her by any means. They are not calling her an ambulance. They're not trying to, hey, cuff her, get her in the back seat, let her calm down. This woman is freaking out. She is so entitled to her irrationality. She doesn't have to straighten up in front of the cops because the cops, well, they just look like her. And that is a major problem. There's a reason why teachers and professors and whatnot want to teach critical race theory. There's a reason why. Because if you know how systemic it is, why it's so systemic, and how it keeps, furthering in our processes, then you can finally address it. And the proper people, those that do have the power to, can actually fight and change how things are done. That's the point. This situation, all it does is what is done with every single one for the past year and a half. It exposes the systemic injustice in this country that favors the outer city people over the inner city people. That's what it does. Because I can tell you, when you get to the point where it's so obvious of the racial inequalities that are happening, that you have the term Karens, you have the terms Becky's, when they can call the cops on someone selling lemonade, on someone having a barbecue, someone grilling in their own backyard, someone sitting on their own porch, someone walking down the street to get from one section of a block to another. When you have these things happening, when someone can freak out in the store because somebody is wearing a mask, opposed to, being loyal and not wearing a mask. When you can have this, and those people that causes the disturbances are not getting in any iota of trouble, any help that will stop their either clearly blatant misbehavior or confusions or something. When this isn't happening and you want to attack or blame or assault the victim, that shows the problem. It's not about debating if these things happen. It's not about debating who did it, why they did it, when they did it. It's not about debating what color they were. Not necessarily. It's about, in general, without color, without race, the individual. It's about the individual. It's about people doing their job. When someone is having a mental breakdown, you detain them and you make sure they're not a danger to themselves and others. And when they have proven such, let them go. When they have caused a public disturbance, you treat them as you would anyone else. If you would grab someone that happens to be on the inner city, if you would grab them and slam them to the ground and beat them up and take them in, then you need to do that for those that are on the outer city. That's what needs to happen. If you can't be equal, if you can't be fair, then you shouldn't be at that level of profession or on that job or have that career or have that situation. Be anything of that. Get out of it. Be done. That's what needs to happen. That's how I see it. Because if I am out there and there's a Karen that's going to freak out, or a Kevin, and they're going to freak out, and my thing is I'm trying to get away, because that's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to try to get away until I can't get away. And if I can't get away, it's going to be a bad day for that person. And I think that's how everyone should be. If you try to get away, even if, hey, you don't have to be the perpetrator. You can just walk around, you record, and they start freaking out. Or you're wearing a mask and they start freaking out. Hey, leave. Leave the establishment. That's what you must do. Let them win. Let them win. You're in a capitalist society. This is capitalism, everyone. You let the crazies win. And what happens when the crazies win? Do you know what happens? You might not be thinking about it. When you let the crazy people like that win, that hurts businesses. That's going to hurt business. If that person chases you out and you let everyone know what happened at that store, how it was handled, they didn't get that person out. They didn't single them out. No, it was okay for you to leave. And everyone can say, well, shoot, the crazy person, this isn't about race. Keep it in mind, this ain't about race. They say this person was a maniac and the other person had to flee. Store did nothing. They shouldn't get my business. And when that store don't get their business, you know what's happened? That means them pockets have been hit. And that is how you get change. You hit them pockets. Victoria's Secret, wow. You know what? Nobody, the people at the cashiers, the clerks, they did nothing. They just stood there while this person lost their mind. They didn't call the police. The crazy person, the crazy person called the police, as reported by TMZ. And on their thing, they didn't even cover everything that I'm even talking about. I'm just saying, people just say, I'm not going to shop there. And they put it out there. Hashtag Make sure Victoria stays a secret or keeps her secret. Don't shop there. Let everybody know, don't shop there. And I guarantee you, they'll put out a statement that they don't like what happened, they don't condone it, and they're going to make sure that it doesn't happen again. And they're going to make sure that their employees undergo a training where they can handle these people properly. They will let that statement go, and then they will start having discounts, saying that, you know, people are welcomed, and people who are disturbers or rioters or something must leave. And they'll say stuff like, no mask, no service, no mask, no entry. You let them know, if you crazy and or not wearing a mask, hey, we're not going to do business there. If you allow that, we aren't going to do business there with you. Oh, all of that will change. You got to hit them pockets. That's the truth. And when it comes to the police, I'm just saying, y'all might not like this, but you want to teach the police a lesson? Don't call them. Hold up. Don't do anything stupid. Don't go out and be a troll. Don't troll. Don't show anything stupid. And if the crazies want to hold up guns and Confederate flags and around a certain area, leave. Don't do business there. Don't call the cops. Don't call the cops. That's all you got to do. And then sign a petition, a legit petition. And be like, we don't need the cops, so we want you to not pay them any taxpayer money. Will that really happen or go through? No. But it puts them on alert. It'll scare the living hell out of them. I promise you that. These things have been done before. It's nothing new, I'm saying. This stuff has happened quite a few times in U.S. history and pre-U.S. history on this land. You know, I mean, it was here about 400 years before they ratified it into a country. You know, so it's been done before and it can be done again. You hit them pockets, you get change. It's that simple. They will change everything when they start losing money. It's a capitalist society. It's an abusive capitalist system. Okay? Take advantage of their greed and use it for your advantage. Because in a capitalist society, the only reason the wealthy, the rich and the wealthy have power is because you haven't learned as a not so wealthy, a not so well-to-do, to use your power of no money. You haven't learned to use it. And you can learn. It's not hard. It's not hard. Anyway, I hope that this has reached some people. I hope you can understand what I'm saying. And if you don't understand and something is just, it don't seem right, let me know. You know, maybe I flubbed somewhere and didn't know it. Maybe I said the wrong thing and didn't know it. But I was trying to be very 100% aware of everything that I was saying and how I was saying it. But let the crazies win. You let them win. And you will get victory. Because a company can do anything but lose money. Remember that. A company can do anything but lose money. This has been Cedric Kennedy for Comparative Reasoning. Thank you for listening.